collection too, because different fashion necklines require different length of necklaces.
Sure.
So you can adjust that.
So you can adjust it.
This ring is one of my favorite designs that I do. And I love when I met Debbie back in the green room before the show, because she said, what's quatrefoil? And literally, it's a design technique that's used in jewelry and architecture. And it's from a Latin word that means 4 leaves. 4 leaves, okay. So if you look at, on 4 sides, you see a design that repeats. That's what quatrefoil is. I like what you said instinctively after that. You said, it's vintage. That's exactly right.
It's vintage inspired.
But this, if you are even a little bit of a fan of garnet, I want this to be your first garnet that you've ever gotten from me.
Yes.
And here's why. Garnets are one of those funny gemstones that when they go up in size, the color generally goes darker.
Right.
So there's 2 elements to this ring that I want you to know. Look at that big stone.
Look, it's huge. Look,
it is huge.
See that?
It's a 10x8 garnet from Mozambique. Look at that orange glow that comes from within that. Again, gorgeous. Completely natural, untreated. But if there were any flaws in that garnet, it would be glaringly apparent because of that emerald cut.
Yes. And if you love anything vintage and just the north, south, east, west with, the beautiful, the fact that you have 3 additional garnets, with that east-west, north-south design, it's really stunning. It's quite a statement ring, in my opinion. It's bold, but yet it still has that delicate vintage feel that I like.
Now, it does have another choice if garnet's not your thing.
Oh, absolutely.
The blue topaz, and this is that really beautiful traditional blue topaz. Look at that.
Oh, it's stunning.
And that goes well back with your pink opal, your sunset pink opal from Oregon.
Oh, that does go so well together.
But these are great pieces. But get that garnet. Here's the thing about garnet, and why I still think it's the most underrated and underpriced red gemstone on earth. Again, if we had an emerald cut like that in a ruby, it would literally be priceless.
Sure.
If you look at the total carat weight that we have in the garnet, it's over 5 carats, whether you get the blue topaz or the garnet. But that center stone by itself,
so pretty,
is very, very much a big deal. But it also, we talked about cut, color, clarity, carat weight, color being the most important.
Absolutely.
But if you take a look at garnet, the other thing that it has is a high refractive index. You asked me a question earlier. Where does the sparkle come from?
It's so evident in your pieces.
You can literally measure the sparkle of a stone. And if you look at diamonds, which has the highest refractive index of any natural mined gemstone, and it's like a 2.42 or something like that. After that, you have your white zircon.
Look how pretty that is.
And then you have your garnet. Your garnet is right up there as one of the most sparkly red stones you can get.
So get it home. I'm telling you, get this home for $35.75. This is one of those heirloom pieces that you will pass down to your daughters and your granddaughters. It's timeless. It's timeless. I love that you made this a vintage feel. It's absolutely beautiful.
Well, see, I'm somewhat of an antique myself now, as I'm pushing 60.
Well, you look awesome, by the way.
Well, I was taught by a comedian friend of mine, who appears in this network, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tim Wilkins, right?
Oh, I love Tim.
He said, if you're going to lie about your age, lie older. Because if like the people I play basketball with, I say, I'm 80, or I pull out my AARP card. They're like, wow, you look really great. If I say my real age, you're like, oh.
No, you look awesome. Look at this Robert Redford Hollywood, got that Hollywood, star look. You really do. And you are a star. I mean, look at all of what you've done. You've accomplished so much. Not only has he been a TV host for HSN and QVC, now he has his own jewelry line, 2 books, by the way, which I need to read because I'm learning. I love jewelry, but I really want to know it. I want to know it inside.
And there's a course in the beginning of that book, each of the books. So I'll next time we work together, I'll bring you a copy of the books.
Okay, I love it.
Is that a deal?
That is a deal. Okay. Now this is the deal of the century. Okay, to get a beautiful statement vintage-inspired ring like this, the carat weight alone, I mean, you would pay so much more for this. We're giving you a $375 appraisal, but remember, that's the lowest of 3.
I work very closely
lowest.
with my manufacturer. They have a factory, literally, floors are set aside just for my collection. And we procure gemstones together. We walk shows, we will buy the gems. I tell them when it comes to garnet, because I'm very particular about my garnet, that usually I call the sweet spot like a 1 carat. If you go more than a carat, it starts to go dark. And I only have enough of these big emerald cut stones that are of this quality, because it's extremely rare to get a garnet that size with that level of clarity and beautiful color.
And you think the center stone is what, maybe about 2 carats? Look at the total carat weight, I can tell you, for the garnet is 5.53 total carat weight. So more than 5 carats for your garnet, and then also 5 carats for your blue, 5.27. But your center stone
I'm saying
alone
the center stone
is about 2?
I was gonna say it's probably just over 2, between 2 1/4 and 2.
I mean, substantial.
Yeah,
It really is beautiful. And then talk about the marquee stones on the side, the east, west, the north, south.
Well, there are there's 4 groupings of 3 marquee stones, and that goes back to that quadrifoil, which is 4 leaves. But what I love to mix cuts and shapes in my designs. So the marquise is gonna be more of the faceted, whereas the emerald cut is more of that clean look. You see a window deep down into the soul of that gemstone. But having all of that look, and by the way, don't forget the white, the white topaz as well.
Oh, yes.
We have almost a full carat of white topaz to finish that off. But in those melly sizes, we call them, that really brings that vintage look that you noticed right away.
Yes,
But
I was
the way
drawn
that,
to it.
yeah, the way that it's kind of raised.
I based my whole outfit on this ring. I was like, I want to wear the vintage-inspired garnet ring. So I came up with the whole, hope you like it.
But you know what this is? This goes back to your Dallas roots.
It does.
This is you going to the restaurant and flaunting this in front of as you get to the table.
I need my glass of wine, please.
Yes, I want it to match this color. I want it to be a Merlot.
I want it to be a Merlot.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you, by the way. We know you're a big fan of Paul Deasy. When we had the premiere, lots of phone calls. So please call us and say hello to Paul, and also tell us which ring do you like the best, and what are you drawn to? The sunset opal, to the garnet, to this beautiful blue topaz? I mean, just look.
Here's how we'll know how many people are
goodness.
familiar with me. If the blue topaz is outselling the garnet, then that means they don't know me that well yet.
Okay.
But garnet is one of my absolute favorite gemstones on planet Earth.
Well, garnet right now is the most popular. I'm not surprised.
Then my peeps are out there.
Your peeps are out there.
My peeps are out there.
But definitely give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Do you see how beautiful? I see. So you can either get the garnet necklace, by the way, but I would get this home as a suite.
Oh, absolutely.
So we showed the necklace a little earlier, but you get this beautiful QuatrefoilDesign ring. I love that word.
I love that you went into that voice.
$35. I cannot believe the price. I mean, this is a rare find. And do you see how the blue topaz, I think it looks like all diamonds. I mean, look at that sparkle.
I like to consider when I do a show, like a big gem class. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to throw them at me if you're calling in. I love to do that. But also, I'm probably the only one that says, don't be afraid to walk into a jewelry store.
Right. Don't be afraid.
Don't be intimidated. That's why